number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Cristiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, a website for theater buffs covering all things theater. And I'm coming to you from the LTV Studio Kitchen today. It's my first time in the kitchen, and I have some really cool guests. Two guys, Sean and Dylan, who founded, I'm going to get this wrong probably, Acquolina?
You almost have Acquolina.
Acquolina, which means mouth-watering pasta, and their pasta is really mouth-watering. They're going to serve us up some today, and they're going to tell us about how they got into the business of making pasta. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming to do this. It's really exciting to have you.
So
Thank you
good
for
to be
having
here.
us.
So this is Sean, and this is Dylan.
I'm Dylan, yeah.
I usually say Dylan and Sean.
Yeah.
This time I went
Well,
Sean.
Dylan's my
matter?
older brother, so he can take the.
Sean got the height. I am older.
But you're the older one?
I am, yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I met Sean and Dylan. I met Dylan actually at the farmers market in East Hampton at the Rue de Cham parking lot one day, and we were sampling their pasta, and I thought it's all made locally. Tell us, tell us how, from your grandmother, your Italian grandmother who loved pasta, taught you, passed on her love of pasta to you,
Yeah.
and how they used to make it all the time. Tell us.
Yeah, sure. So it was both of our grandparents, nonno and nonna as we call them in Italian, and it was Nonna Mariolina, and she came from the north, and our nonno Giuseppe came from the east coast of Sicily. They immigrated here in the 50s from Italy. And, you know, they were leaving their home, they were leaving their culture and, you know, large parts of their family. So cuisine became very, very important for them. Not that it isn't in Italy, but especially when they got here, it was a way of preserving that. So for us growing up, it was really beautiful to just kind of be like indoctrinated into that world of pasta. And that was probably our most often meal. And we would, when we were with them, spend the whole day making pasta from scratch, cooking it, eating it, and that was the plan for the day. So it was a really beautiful way of growing up and kind of got us both obsessed with pasta from a very, very early age.
And now during the pandemic, both you guys kind of had nothing to do. Sean's a musician. Do you have an instrument?
I'm a singer and a guitarist. I'm a songwriter. I play with a band. And
So kind of things dried up during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and I don't even know what you do. What
Yeah, so I was working in restaurants, another sector that really got hit hard by the pandemic. So our restaurant shut down on the 15th, and Sean had a show booked.
17th or 18th. Yeah.
Of you talking about June or March?
Of March
so-
of 2020.
Yeah.
So
I think all the venues closed the night before our show, so it was like a, you know,
And you
startling.
launched your product in June, so March, April, May. So it only took you 3 months to think of something else to do to fill your time.
Yeah,
and you
so-
come up with this incredible idea.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was as I mentioned, we spent a lot of time on those Zoom happy hours, just being with people from apart, and our friends who love food as well, but maybe don't spend as much time as, you know, sane people probably don't, cooking pasta. We started to do these pasta workshops over Zoom just to have fun.
What happens in a pasta workshop?
I would send everybody an email about what ingredients they needed. So good 00 flour or semolina flour.
You hosted
good
the
eggs.
workshop.
Yeah,
How
it
cool.
was very, very casual, but it was fun, and we'd all
And
drink
then
wine
everybody
and-
come and make pasta?
well, remotely.
Virtually.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
but
yeah.
everyone and a bunch of both of our friends would just get on
Everybody
Zoom
be in
and-
their own little individual kitchen
in their
making
kitchen,
pasta.
and we'd make fresh pasta
Wow,
together.
that's
It was-
cool,
Yeah,
that's
it was
cool.
super fun. So it was, you know, it was one of those things. We just did a lot of them, and we're having a great time. And the idea was sparked over a dinner of too much wine, and we were like, well, maybe we should just like get a machine imported from Italy and see if people would support a local pasta company out here, which We're about a year into it now, and people have been really supportive. And
Now, tell us about the ingredients, what goes into your pasta, because it has Amber Waves Farm.
Yeah.
Makes your pasta. I mean, makes the wheat.
So they grow the wheat that we use,
Organic.
and actually Sean is really familiar with for years now.
Yeah, I used to bake bread out here on the East End with Carissa, who's Carissa's Breads. For everybody who
We
doesn't
all know Carissa's.
Yeah, I mean she's an amazing
yummy.
baker, and I was lucky enough to bake with her and work with her, years ago. And I think through that, just got connected to all the farms out here and all the people working in that space out here on the East End, and the food community out here is so strong. So it was kind of a no-brainer when we started making pasta. Like, if you have good grain that's growing in your backyard, you should use it, I think. And,
Yeah, absolutely. And but you mix it with something
Yeah, so there's a really beautiful mill in Sicily, in the town of Castelvetrano, and we were introduced to them through.
I love the name of that. Say it again.
Yeah, Castelvetrano,
What a beautiful
Sicily.
name.
Yeah, and our importer introduced us to this guy Filippo Drago's mill, which is called Molini del Ponte, and he's doing something similar to what's happened out here with grain, where he would like people to be growing indigenous varieties of durum wheat, which is what you make semolina out of, in Sicily, which has been kind of the bread basket and grain growing region for Europe since pre-Roman times. And a lot of the beautiful grains that exist there have been torn up and replaced with more modern varieties that are grown for yield and uniformity and resistance to chemicals.
That's good.
So his idea was, beautiful grain grows here. If I open this mill and encourage farmers to grow something that is from here, maybe more people will grow it. So yeah, all of our pasta is a blend of that really beautiful heritage variety of semolina, and then the local red wheat that Amber Waves grows.
So you ready? Do you think you want to make some now?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
ready?
Boil some
Can you
water.
say it makes really cooks quick, right?
It cooks really quickly. All of our pasta cooks in about a minute
Why
to
is
two.
that? What makes it cook so quick?
So it's twofold. Mostly the moisture content, which is really the only difference between fresh pasta and dried pasta, is how long you dehydrate it.
Okay.
So it's really fresh. It's about
So it's less dehydrated.
30 to 35% moisture, water.
Does it keep
when
as
it's
long?
fresh? It does not keep as long, because that is kind of why pasta was originally dried. Is it was shelf stable, and in southern Italy and North Africa, they realized that if you dehydrate something, you can keep it for a really long time, and then you just cook it. You rehydrate it, and then it's food, and it has all the nutrients in there readily available. But fresh pasta, being fresh, cooks really quickly. Ours in about a minute to two. So
you basically buy it ready when you're ready to use it. Pretty much.
yeah, I mean, you can keep it in the fridge for up to a week to
okay.
10 days. So it definitely keeps.
That adds to shelf life. Yeah.
Yeah. But we dry some pastas, but predominantly we're making fresh pastas.
So what are we going to make today?
So we are going to make mafalde, which I will show you the shape here. It's this really beautiful shape. It comes from southern Italy, is where it was first designed, and it was designed and named after an Italian princess who was Princess Mafalda, which is a great story.
Go ahead. Tell us.
And she was the daughter of King Emmanuel II, who was the king of Italy during the Second World War. And she was a stark critic of fascism and both Mussolini and Hitler's regimes, and it wound up getting her arrested, and it's a sad end, and she wound up dying in one of the German camps. But the shape is named after her. She had, as the story goes, this really beautiful wavy hair, and when she was born, they kind of commemorated her birth with the design and naming of her for this pasta shape, which is mafalde.
Okay.
So kind of, long story, but it's a good one, and it's Italian princess pasta, which I think is cool.
I like it.
We're just waiting for the water to boil here, but yeah, once it's boiling, we're going to salt it, and this is really good sea salt that comes from Sicily.
Oh wow.
It comes from Trapani, which is on the west coast of Sicily. And it's harvested by hand by a father and son team who still run these salt works that have been, I believe, in their family since the early 1800s. And the entire area is a protected World Wildlife Federation zone.
Oh, wow.
So the water's really pure. It's unrefined, so it's really mineral rich, and you can taste it. It's really beautiful salt. So this is just about boiling.
And we're gonna dress it with the dressing afterwards.
Yeah.
What are you gonna?
Yeah, we're making. We made a kale pesto,
Oh.
and actually everything in our pesto today, save for the olive oil, is actually also grown on Amber Wave's farm. We're using their kale, their arugula, their garlic scapes.
So you're putting a little salt in now.
We're putting, a decent bit of salt in, which is important when cooking pasta. You want the water to be salty like the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of the touchstone that they go for there. And then you want it to be rapidly boiling. So we're just going to cover it again. We're going to give it another minute to come back up to temperature, and then we'll drop our pasta.
So now you go to all the farmers markets out here.
Correct.
Tell the audience where they can find you at the farmers markets if they want to
Yeah,
hook up with
we're
you.
currently in about 4 farmers markets, weekly farmers markets out here. East Hampton on Friday and Sunday. We're also in Springs and Sag Harbor on Saturdays. So we're at all those farmers markets with our pasta, but we're also in a number of sort of smaller farm stand and grocery stores between Southampton and Amagansett. So you can check in with Amber Waves, for example. They'll have our pasta in the store there. Hen of the Woods in Southampton, and some other shops as well who are carrying our pasta, which is cool. They've welcomed in this new local pasta company.
Well, I'm sure it's wonderful. I can't wait to taste.
Well, we're going to drop it. We're going to cook
Okay.
it. Again, it'll
Let's go
cook in
with
about a minute, and then we will garnish and plate, and we can taste it. And just kind of like pasta cooking 101, fresh, dry, you always want to stir it as soon as you drop it. And then you could cover it and bring it back up to temperature because you want the water to be as hot and rapidly boiling as possible. A good little trick, if you're not cooking a sauce, since pesto is a raw sauce, a mixing bowl like this is good to use. And what we'll do is we're going to pull the pasta directly from the water and into this mixing bowl that has our pesto in there. We'll mix it all together so it's well coated, and then we're going to garnish.
Oh,
And that's the whole plan. But,
Now, how do you know how long to cook it?
you can kind of, the more you cook it, the more you'll realize the weight of it and the texture of it on your cooking spoon. Another really simple and good trick is to just taste it early and often. And we're just about there. And what you want is it to be al dente,
Yes, of course, al dente.
which just means to the tooth, which means it has some texture. Because overcooked pasta is sacrilegious.
Crime.
It is definitely a crime. But again, this shape is anywhere from like 45 seconds to a minute.
Wow.
So we're just about ready. Sean? And another important thing, because a lot of people ask, the pasta water is a really important ingredient for pretty much every pasta sauce. It's salty, it's full of starch from the pasta, which helps it cling to the sauce, and especially the fats in the sauce, which tend to be the base of it. So you never want to, if you're draining your pasta, never rinse it. If you're draining your pasta, try to hold on to some of that cooking water.
Yeah, I always put a little water aside.
Yeah, really, really important. And this is kind of the secret, and one of the things when people come back from Italy and they're like, why is the pasta so much better there? Why when I cook it, it's not the same? Pasta water tends to be one of those ingredients that is overlooked here. So we're not draining this that much. We have a ladle here, and now I'm just stirring this together. And another thing that it does is it will loosen up your sauce. So as you can see, it's a little bit dry here. But what we're going to do is we're going to, if I may, we're going to steal some of this pasta water, and we're just going to add it in, which is going to both loosen it up a little bit and also help the sauce cling to the pasta itself.
You're good.
It's been a lot of years making pasta.
And those Zoom.
And the Zoom thing, yeah. This is, I mean, I harped on pasta water so much. My friends are
It's
probably
funny.
really
I've been
sick
telling
of.
people about that too.
It's really important. It's one of those things that makes it's like that sum is
But
greater
you also
than its
said your
parts.
pasta, there's something about the texture that makes the sauce cling to it better too.
Yeah, great point. We extrude all of our pasta through bronze dies, which is the traditional way of doing it. Which when pasta,
What is it? God.
so bronze dies are basically they're these perforated discs which have shapes etched into them, and the dough is forced through them. And basically, the way the shape is cut into the die is the shape of pasta it will make. And bronze is really important because it stresses the pasta and it creates this really rough surface texture, which is great for clinging onto sauces. And a lot of industrial pastas will be extruded through Teflon plastic, which is a lot cheaper, a lot more efficient from a scalability standpoint, but it's slippery, kind of lackluster pasta as a result. So bronze dies always. If you're in a
And that was a key point that you wanted to do initially, right? That was that was
Absolutely.
the first thing you said to do to make your pasta stand out.
Yes, and it's really important. It's something where if you're in Italy, people will, by and large, seek out bronze die pastas because even like Barilla, and we have it at home always. It's good in a pinch, but you can see on the surface it's a lot smoother and it'll kind of just slide right off the sauce. But bronze die is super important. We have it plated. We're just going to garnish a little bit. So a couple options. These are breadcrumbs. This is a family breadcrumb mixture recipe. If you don't eat cheese and you keep your diet plant-based, it's a good alternative with just a little bit of sea salt and some herbs blended in there. We also have
Do you eat
Parmigiano.
cheese? Do you eat a lot of cheese?
I don't eat as much as I used
'Cause
to.
I've cut back.
Yeah, but it's hard to say completely goodbye and no to it. So I will eat some, but just for
I
options.
go for long periods without eating it and then add a little.
But this is really good Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yes.
And then, do you like heat?
A
Little bit?
I'll
Okay.
have a little of everything.
I'll be light-handed on it because this is actually a friend of Sean and I's chili peppers that he smuggled back from Calabria. So it's a really hot
do
variety.
one without. Do one without.
I'll leave
in
that one
case someone
without.
wants to taste without.
And then a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil always on top. And we're ready to eat. So this one's without chilies.
Okay,
if
I'll
you'd like to
do
enjoy.
that one first, and since you guys want the chili.
This one, cheese
Thank
and
you
chili.
so much. This
Yeah.
is really cool.
Thank you for having us.
No, my pleasure.
Here's a napkin for you.
Thank you. We're going to taste the pasta. I was waiting for this. It's fabulous.
Yeah?
Nailed it, Dill.
Good.
You really
Tasting
did.
good.
Oh
I'm
my
happy to
God.
hear that. And yeah, it's good ingredients, which is at the heart of everything good in food. If the ingredients are
All natural.
natural, honestly made, made with care and love, it's going to be tasty.
It's delicious.
Thank you.
So everybody has been receptive because you've been working on getting it into all the stores between the
People
islands.
have been really supportive, and I think that again is just this like East End food community and local producers, farms, store owners, etc. Everybody's super excited to sort of like enrich this community and supportive.
I'm going
in
to
it.
keep eating.
Yeah, no, please do.
Yeah.
Oh, we have your you have different pastas. Let's show the audience.
Yeah.
Can we have the images of the other pasta that we have that they make? Tell us what this is.
So this is called campanelle, which is a shape that comes from the Tuscan region. It means lilies or bellflowers. Really pretty. And these are fusilli, like a more rustic version of it, which we tend to like better, but really pretty. You find them everywhere. But yeah, nice. And then these are called radiatori, which means radiators, which is exactly what they look like. Yeah, great shape. And then this is mafalda, which we are enjoying right now. And these are casarecce. And casarecce are a really rustic shape that come from Sicily, traditionally made by by women in the household there with reeds from the wheat stalks, and eventually they pivoted towards like umbrella spokes, but really pretty shape.
It's wonderful. This is delicious, absolutely
so
delicious.
happy
Now,
to
now
hear it.
they can't get to the farmer's market to pick up your pasta. They can go to the website too, I understand. What's the
Absolutely.
website?
So the website is www.mouthwateringpasta.com. And again,
That's what, oh, I forgot to, that's L'acquolina.
L'acquolina, yeah,
L'acquolina means mouthwater.
Exactly.
We forgot to tell everybody that way.
yeah. So the phrase l'acquolina in bocca means like to salivate, basically. And,
Oh.
and the
Well,
translation is
this does
mouthwatering.
it.
So happy to hear that.
Absolutely. So tell them the website one more time.
Yeah, so it's www.mouthwateringpasta.com. Or just mouthwateringpasta.com.
Yeah, you can order through the site. There should be information on which markets we're in and stores locally
it's
as well.
delicious.
So happy to hear that.
Oh, very, very good. We'll have to take some more home.
Yeah.
So now, Sean, I just want to talk a little bit about, because you're a musician,
That's right, yeah.
and we want to get you back on the show.
I
What do you
would
think?
love that.
You want to come and talk about what you do?
I would love to.
Because you have some new releases coming out
Yeah,
or something too.
my first, it's been a long year and a half of playing no shows, but my first show back is August 20th at the Mercury Lounge
Oh, how
down
cool.
in the Village in the city.
Wow.
And then, I should have my first full-length record coming out in the fall, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, so we
And
have to get you on maybe before you do the Mercury Lounge and
wait.
talk about what you're doing.
We should. I'd love that.
This is fabulous. What else do you want to tell us about your pasta? Is there anything else that I've missed that I haven't covered?
I think we touched on a lot, but it's, again, like, not to harp on it, but good ingredients make a difference.
Oh, God.
And yeah, and especially wheat, I think, in modern era and in America has been kind of ruined it. And we don't grow good varieties of it, and we strip out all the nutrient-dense parts of it. And Amber Waves, Katie and Amanda there, who founded the farm, have done an amazing job.
How long have they been there?
I believe they've been there for certainly 8 years, maybe even close to 9 now. And they do just a great job of managing soil health, which is really important, and is the nutrition and the flavor that is in our food. If you have healthy soil, you have healthy food. And that's what flavor is. It's just our brains recognizing this is something good for me and I want more of it. And they do a beautiful job of managing that and growing just absolutely excellent food.
Well,
you know?
taste is in the proof. It certainly is. I tell you, I'm just digging into this constantly.
Dig in.
Yeah, we're trying to show some restraint because we eat pasta like 8 nights a week.
Well, I planned on tasting today.
Good.
I'm just waiting for the camera to turn off.
Yeah.
Dig in.
So, one more time, the stores where they can find it in case they need to.
Yeah, so in Southampton, which is where we produce all of our pasta, you can find it at Hen of the Woods Market, which is a great specialty market. You can find it on the menu at Almond Restaurant in Bridgehampton.
Oh.
Yeah, Jason Wiener and Tim in the kitchen are cooking beautiful.
Does it actually stay on the menu?
Yeah.
Did that-
So weekly they're rotating seasonal dishes with it. So Tim or Jason will text us and just say, hey, we want this shape this week, and this is what we're going to do with it. So it's really beautiful, and we love them. They do an awesome job of representing it with.
Oh, that's
love
real,
and
because they're a
respect.
fabulous place
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
have your
wonderful,
pasta. Really,
wonderful.
really cool place to be doing it.
And then, of course, Amber Waves Market, their farm market on Main Street in Amagansett. They always have a lot of our pasta there, which we love seeing it there. And then Sylvester Manor on Shelter Island, their farm stand has it, as well as S&S Corner Shop up in Springs. And then weekly we add new partners.
So a little at a time. So you got to get you into New York now. That's
Yeah.
the next-
Yeah.
That's the next step.
So this is fabulous. We have a few more minutes if there's anything else you want to talk about. If not, we're going to just have bon
Yeah.
appetit. And I'm
Thank
gonna
you
eat
so
the
much
rest
for
of
having
this.
us. It's been so much fun.
But you're
Yeah.
going to come back.
Oh, I can't
Definitely,
wait.
Sean.
Yeah,
We're going to
definitely.
figure out a time to get you back to talk about what you're doing.
Would love that.
Because it's really interesting that you've created a new venture for yourself, and you're going to be kind of
Yeah.
juggling balls now, keeping yourself busy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that. Why do one thing when you can
I agree.
do them all?
So thank you, Dylan. Thank you so much for coming. You're really an expert on what you do. It's nice to hear everything, your wisdom about the food.
Well,
is
it's
really
our
cool.
again, it's our grandparents' fault we had no choice. But
No, you didn't have. You didn't have to. You didn't have to absorb what they were teaching
that's
you. You
true.
could have
That's
resisted.
true. Well, that's another thing. Maybe just like our grandparents were, and our grandmother's still alive and still is just
Oh.
wonderful.
She must
wonderful.
be so proud of you.
Yeah,
What you're doing. Is she all
loves it.
excited?
We had her
We're
here
trying to-
helping us a little bit.
Oh.
She was
So, yeah.
employee number 3 for a little bit. But yeah, they were just wonderful storytellers and people, and just time spent with them was always just, the kitchen was full of people and food, and that was the point. So that's why we love
Well,
food.
that's the point of good food, isn't it?
Yeah, to bring people together. So especially post-pandemia lifestyle, it's a really nice thing to be doing.
And you did it during the pandemic with your Zoom shows, though. Too. So you
Yeah,
kind of
true.
started it and
Very
it
much
just,
so.
just morphed into another direction.
Yeah.
It's really fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Sean, come back.
Can't wait.
Thank you, guys.